the chairman of the occasion, and every other distinguished guest on the high table, my colleagues in the media, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor and privilege to stand before you today at this event, which is the official launching of the Pinnacle Daily. The emergence of newspapers in the media landscape is always worth raising, but it becomes even more significant when the medium is born into a rapidly changing digital world. I've been part of Nigerian media journey for nearly 3 decades, and has never been more exciting and challenging, and there has never been a more challenging time than this for the industry than now. Allow me, therefore, to share a few reflections on past, present, and future of media business, particularly as it relates to new media in our environment. First of all, there is this transformation from print to online. To understand where we are today, we must remember where we came from. The story of newspaper is the story of information itself. From the first printed pages in Europe in the 1660s, to pioneering Nigerian titles like West African Pilot and in the Daily Times, which shaped public opinion during the colonial era, for most part of the 20th century, newspapers ruled unchallenged. They were the heartbeat of democracy, the watchdogs of government, and the principal platform for public discourse. Revenue was predictable. Cover price sales and advertisement sustained the newsroom. Newspapers printed high circulation figures, operated multiple presses, and deployed distribution vehicles across the country. Readers waited until morning for the news, and journalists had 24 hours to tell their stories. But the world has changed, and so did the news business. Over the last 2 decades, and especially in Nigeria, more recently, the internet, mobile phones, and social media have rewritten the rules of media operations. Information now moves at the speed of light. Readers no longer wait for tomorrow's paper. They want breaking news, analysis, video, commentary, and conversation in real time. It has become necessary for everyone in the media to evolve or risk going to the oblivion. Permit me, at this point, to illustrate this evolution with a story close to my heart, and that is the Daily Trust story. When we founded Media Trust Limited in 1996, Honorable Farouk is much aware, and some other people in this gathering. We started as a media communication company in Kaduna. 2 years later, we launched the Weekly Trust, also in Kaduna. Some of my colleagues who were in the paper are also here. It was a modest but very ambitious vision. It aimed to become a credible, independent, and respectable regional platform. From there, we expanded to daily titles, first publishing 5 days in a week. That was after the weekly. We started doing the Monday to Thursday. Then later, we did the Saturday and the Sunday. All in the process of about 5 years before we could complete the 7 days in a week. We had no manual operations, nor enough capital to buy a printing press. There was no accounting manual. There was no operational manual. What we had was committed and top-level managerial involvement that built the editorial and business systems and structure. Over the years, we developed a strong brand across Nigeria, but like many print organizations, we eventually faced the hard truth, which is the digital media, where we are today. Rather than resist, we embraced it. Though not without a struggle. We invested in digital infrastructure, online editorial teams, and a fairly strong social media presence. Our business experience had already taught us the need for multiple revenue streams beyond traditional advertising. So we created event-based programs like the Daily Trust Dialogue, which is very popular, launched special projects and specialized publications that enhance our brand and created sustainable income lines. We went into establishing the TV Trust and also the Trust Radio, optimizing digital platforms to develop both text and video contents. Today, Daily Trust reaches millions of readers online, far beyond the physical limit of print circulation. That evolution was necessary, and it offers valuable lessons for new entrants like Pinnacle Daily. The economics of the news rules of the media and the models to be adopted, which I'm supposed to speak about, is nothing but a shift to the digital platform. Because I don't want to bore you with the strategies that we deploy at the print newspaper and Daily Trust, because the strategies are no longer really very, very relevant. I can say without any fear of contradiction today that most of the newspapers no longer print. They outsource their printing to bigger presses. I don't know if Azu is still printing on his press. I know Azu is still printing, but I know so many of our colleagues that print in other presses. So I don't want to bore you with strategies of the print. I rather go into the digital, which I think is which, like we have said and agree, is the future. In the digital media, the key is digital advertising. That is number one thing. Just like in the hard copy, we know that the advertising is the lifeline. And even up to now, I must say, because it's good to clear this. If we say we are moving to the digital, I want to say also that the media today, the newspaper today is still deriving most of its revenue from physical advertisement, not digital, because there's no much money, except Azu will tell us because he knows how to monetize. So apart from primary advertising in the hard copy, which still form the significant part of revenue for newspaper, digital ad is now mostly data-driven and personalized. Most newspapers run display adverts online, which are purchased through the platform like Google Ads, which allow advertisers to reach readers based on their demographic, their interest, and their browsing history. Whether they are shopping for cars, furniture, or politics, whatever, the algorithm will put the adverts in your face where you go into the media, in the digital media. Similarly, native advertising blends seamlessly with editorial content. These are sponsored stories written in the same tone and style as news articles, but paid for by brands. For example, a bank might sponsor its financial literacy debate or campaign, or a telecom company might support digital future column. So number one is digital advertising, which is very key. Pinnacle Daily must embrace this, and they have to devise. There are so many other methodology which you hear from the panelists that you can deploy in this respect. The second is subscription and premium content. With declining advertising revenue, many newspapers now charge readers for quality journalism. Subscription models require payment for premium content, investigative report, deep analysis, or expert opinion pieces. The New York Times has been variously quoted as making a huge success of this model. In Nigeria platform, like the Premium Times, I'm happy my brother is here to tell us too, that and Business Day for that matter, I see advertisements in their paper, in their column, that want people to pay either for support or erecting a paywall. So we'll be hearing today whether this is working and how much money we are making from that. Then the third thing is events and conferences. Newspapers can leverage their credibility to create events and product, e.g. hosting conferences, summits, or webinars on key issues like business, technology, education, or governance. These days, leaders in business, they are very good in creating this. Then brand partnership and co-created campaigns. And one of the digital methods, media houses are increasingly becoming strategic in this area to partner with brands, NGOs, and government agencies. This partnership involve co-creating content, campaigns, storytelling to amplify causes or creating awareness. For example, a newspaper might collaborate with UNICEF on child education awareness campaign, producing articles, video, and infographics, all funded by the NGO. Closely related, though not direct revenue model, are grants. Many media organizations receive grants to pursue public service journalism. For instance, the Daily Trust Foundation, which I'm familiar with, receive funds from Mercator Foundation to support investigative journalism training. Each of these models show that innovation and audience understanding are at the heart of profitability. Then people, apart from models, the other aspect, which I think is critical, are people, technology, and profitability. As Pinnacle daily steps into this competitive space, adopting new revenue model is part of the journey. Sustainable revenue depends on how well you build your people, deploy technology, and manage profitability itself. 3 classifications that must be made in this regards are: 1, human capital readiness. And I repeat, human capital readiness. Building a lean, smart, multi-skilled team. Is it? In today's media business, small team with right skills often outperform some large organizations. Pinnacle Daily must invest in good journalists, multimedia producers, social media experts, and data reporters who can distribute stories across platforms and constantly gauge the needs of the audience. You may not need very large staff team like the print option. I remember there was a time we were about 500 in Daily Trust. I'm not sure any online newspaper will be needing that. Beyond the newsroom itself, you must be business focused. Content must be monetized. You must get specialists in this regard, event managers, and subscription growth strategists, all who directly drive revenue. A lean cross-functional team of fewer than 15 people in the early phase can often deliver more impact than a bigger, less focused workforce. Number 2, technology capital readiness. Your technology must be scalable and innovative. Your technology is the invisible engine behind your sources. A modern newsroom requires flexible, SEO optimized content management system to ensure stories rank high on Google. And they are published quickly in multiple formats, in text, in video, in podcast, and can integrate seamlessly with newsletter, social media platforms, and other apps. Your customer relation management and payment system must also be technology driven. Invest in seamless payment gateways like Paystack, Flutterwave, and prioritize automation and renewals. Most importantly, you have to build for mobile first option, because over 85% of Nigerian audience consume news via smartphones. Number 3, Apart from the human capital, the technological capital, you need accounting for profit. And accounting for profit is about measure. Again, measure again, and optimize. Profitability must be tackled, or must be tracked and deliberately managed. Break down your revenue streams into categories like advertising, subscription, event, branded partnership, and monitor each one's performance regularly, either weekly, monthly, quarterly, or half a year. Control cost by classifying them into content production, technology, marketing, and overheads. Then track key business parameters, such as your customer acquisition cost. What is your customer acquisition cost? The total cost of acquiring a new paying customer. For example, if you spend 5 million naira on advertising and logistics to attract 1,000 subscribers to your platform, what your CAC is 5,000 naira. You have to monitor this and so that you can grow them and also to control them. Then revenue per 1,000 views are also important. This may be harder to calculate, but it helps you identify which part of your business are most profitable and where to focus your resources. Above all, remember, if you can measure it, you can manage it. And if you can manage it, you can monetize it. And never forget that credibility itself is money. The more trust you build with your readers, the more likely they are to pay for your value proposition, or recommend your platform to others. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the journey from hard copy newspapers to online platform is more than a technological shift. It is a revolution in how we create, distribute, and monetize information. It challenges us to rethink journalism as a social responsibility and a business. Yet, one truth remains: quality, content, credibility, and professionalism will always command true value. If Pinnacle Daily combines this principle with innovation, smart technology, and sound financial discipline, it will not only survive, it will strive. As you mark on this journey, I urge you to dream boldly, innovate fearlessly, and above all, keep business motivation at the heart of your operations. The future of media in Nigeria, and indeed, the world will be written by those who dare to adapt. Thank you for listening, and once again, congratulations to the Pinnacle team.